Hello, this is Newslive and Viewer Television. I am Ikioma Ineji. The headlines. Governor Tambuwal imposes curfew as riot breaks out in Sokoto State. And the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, releases 2022 UTME results. And on the foreign, Gaza artist paints mural in honor of slain Al Jazeera journalists. President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday in Abuja bade farewell to outgoing members of the Federal Executive Council, affirming that a significant number of them have been sufficiently equipped to aspire to higher elective offices, including the office of the President. The President, while speaking at a valedictory session for appointees leaving the cabinet to pursue political ambitions, said he has no doubt that the next president emerges from among former members of his cabinet like any other aspirant. Ample competence and outstanding service delivery will be on display, noting that the departure of some cabinet members has undoubtedly created a vacuum that should be filled. The President said the appointments will be made without delay so that the business of governance will not suffer.
Mind your decision and courage to contest for elective offices and your compliance with my directive. I also wish to thank you for your invaluable services to this nation through your contributions as cabinet members. I wish you success in the upcoming elections and in your future endeavors. The departure of some cabinet members has undoubtedly created a vacuum that should be filled, that would be carried without delay, so that the business of governance will not suffer.
Speaking on behalf of the outgoing ministers, Akpabio thanked the President for giving them the opportunity to serve and contribute their quota to nation building. He described working with the President as a fantastic and knowledgeable experience, adding that as they step aside, they will continue to be great disciples of Buhari.
Step aside from the Federal Executive Council. I want you to know that you have disciples in us. I want you to know that it is time for us to provocate Buharism. I want you to know that we are going to be working closely with the Honourable Minister of Information and Communications and Digital Technology to take your message of transformation, to take your message of love, your message of patience, and your message of administrative sagacity to the rest of Nigerians.
And to matters of insecurity, the Nigerian Senate has bemoaned the recent killing of over 40 persons, including soldiers, by terrorists at the southern part of Taraba State. This resolution followed a point of order by Senator Emmanuel Bocha. The report.
Citing Order 42 of the Senate Standing Orders 2022 as amended, Senator Pacha drew the attention of the chamber to the incident of banditry and terrorism which occurred in southern Taraba during the Salah break. He noted that the attackers came on motorbikes and killed over 40 people, including soldiers mobilized to protect the community. The lawmaker condoled with the government and people of Taraba State and the military, describing it as one killing too many.
Mr. President, communities of Kwetwen in southern Taraba, largely of the Kuteb Nation, and those of Kwetumo and Basang witnessed a horrible invasion by the bandits. Whether Boko Haram or ISWAP is yet to be known, but the move in motorbikes, as is normal and traditional with them, even as tall as in the northwest and the northeast. Over 40 people have been killed so far, Mr. President.
The Senate President Hamid Lawa urged Nigerians to support the military by providing the needed motivation and information to enable them tackle the problem of insecurity in the country.
On behalf of all of us here, I want to sympathize with your senatorial district for the attacks and the loss of life. Let me also say that the military, our armed forces, are doing their best. We should continue to support them. In fact, we have no alternative but to support them in whatever way possible. Here in the Senate, in the National Assembly, we have been appropriating funds for our armed forces, and I believe that this administration has spent or provided more resources.
A minute silence was observed in honor of all those killed during the attack. In another development, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has tasked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on fairness, justice, and equity as political parties move into the process of party primaries. Lawan gave the charge before adjourning the upper legislative chamber to the 7th of June 2022. He said the chamber was adjourning to enable senators participate actively in the processes leading to the primaries. He urged aspirants across board to accept the outcome of the results, especially if the process is in line with the guidelines of the Electoral Act.
Meanwhile, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has appealed to Nigerians with pending issues for constitution review not to lose hope. He spoke in Abuja while receiving in audience members of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, led by Etsunupe Yahya Abubakar. The report.
Senate to ask for reconsideration for constitutional recognition by the National Assembly, saying the roles of traditional institutions in governance cannot be overemphasized.
Members of the Senate, only one owner of the members of the Senate, I think only 93 was actually sat that day. And out of this 93, 63 voted for inclusion of institution, while others declined. But technically, we could make the standing rules of the Senate by getting at least 75% of the total votes. However, we didn't lose hope. At the lower chambers, we are very fortunate to sail through their debate and exercise, and actually accelerate to be included in the 1999 Constitutional Amendment.
Responding, the Senate President Ahmed Lawan commended them for their approach and belief in democratic institutions. He assured them that the doors of the National Assembly are still open for further engagement on issues that concern them.
I think individually, most of us in the National Assembly believe that our traditional institutions must have some formal, functional roles to play in the governance system of Nigeria. And the belief is when the traditional institutions had some roles officially recognized, they performed their functions very, very well.
Recall that the issue of formal recognition for traditional rulers came to the front burner during the Constitution review process. It, however, suffered setback as Senate declined its passage.
And the Conference of Speakers and Heads of African Parliaments has called for debt cancellation and enter incessant coup, including other palliatives to help African cope with the effect of COVID-19 on the socio-economic lives of the continent. The members came up with a communique to addressing key issues facing the continent while also stressing the need for leadership of the parliaments of member nations to aggressively pursue the cause of benefits of development, peace, and improvement in living conditions of Africans. Speaking of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who is the host for the event, emphasized the need for debt cancellation as the only way the world can truly assist the African continent in getting over the devastating effect of COVID-19 on the economy of the continent.
First and foremost, and still tackling, the issue of debt cancellation as opposed to review of debts, which we all know about. We felt that debt cancellation will provide African countries with the much needed resources, will free up the much needed resources to develop the continent.
There's a need to build internal capacity and local industries to enable local production and processing of raw materials for export. And connected to that is the issue of building resilience against economic shocks. There is a need for African economies to build resilience against external and internal shocks, eliminating dependency on external institutions, lenders, and grantors. In essence, Africa has to stand on its own feet.
And the House of Representatives has amended Section 84, subsection 8A of the Electoral Act 2022 to enable statutory delegates to participate in congresses and conventions. The current Electoral Act, which was assented to by Mr. President in February this year, prevented statutory delegates from taking part in party primaries. Recently, a coalition of various political parties approached the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in view of what they considered as the current political realities to shorten the expected date of submitting the list of candidates by the various political parties. However, there are insinuations that the proposal was a wrong move by not approaching or lobbying the National Assembly for that consideration. The amendment did not go down well with some members of the House of Representatives of the House, which then turned into the chamber into a rowdy session.
Leader. What are we doing? No, Abi. No, Abi. Leader.
It is expected that the amendment will address issues arising from political parties will be dealt with sufficiently within the space of time. As
number
regards
from
to
180
the
to 150
of Section 84, subsection 8 of the Electoral Act, the lawmakers thought that there was need for the amendment to accommodate more people who would have been disenfranchised.
What was sought was to reduce the number from 180 to 150. The members of the National Assembly said no. I don't know, many of you have called to ask me why. Why did we say no? The answer to that is found in the reason behind the making of that law. The legislative intention for choosing 180 days. 180 days was not just chosen at random. There was a reason for choosing 180 days. To give sufficient time for INEC to prepare. And also for the political parties to deal with all the issues associated with the process of primaries. I think it was a good law. I think it is a good law. And that was why the members of the House of Representatives refused to bend on this particular provision.
The House has adjourned plenary to the 24th of May. It is expected that there will be adjustment as some of the political parties have chosen the set dates to end their primaries. Meanwhile, Governor Aminu Tambuwal has imposed a curfew over Sokoto to curb further spread of violence amid a mob rampage for the release of Deborah Samuel's murder. The governor said the directive was issued in pursuance of peace and order in Sokoto metropolis and the entire state. Violent outbreaks have been reported across Sokoto on Saturday amidst protests for the release of those responsible for Thursday's killing of Ms. Samuel. Ms. Samuel, a 200-level economics student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, was killed at about 9 a.m. for allegedly criticizing Prophet Muhammad. Her killing has sparked nationwide outrage, with political and religious leaders demanding urgent arrest and prosecution of all suspects. When Newslive returns, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has launched a discreet investigation into the finances of the 18 political parties in the country and their presidential aspirants. That's in a moment. To join us again.
To advertise your products and services on our platform. Viewer Television is here to give your business a boost with a touch of professionalism. If you're a brand owner, entrepreneur, proud business owner, let's place your business in the face of your customers. Contact us so we can talk business on 081-2121-2278 or info@viewertv.com.ng. Always remember, we are here for you. Feel the spirit, feel the rhythm. It is a moment for worship and praise, a time to connect with the Lord. Right here on Gospel Light, I bring to your home screens everything the gospel, from musical countdowns to having your favorite gospel artist right here on the program, and as well reporting any gospel event around your area.
You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. All power belongs to you. Well, I feel blessed and privileged.
Enquiries for sponsorship or advertisement, do contact us on our email at gospellight.ng@gmail.com. You can as well follow us on our social media platform on Instagram at gospellight.ng, and you can also contact us on 081-3216-1451. Do remain blessed.
You're welcome back if you're just joining us. This is Newslive and View Television. A quick recap. For over 2 years now, thousands of Nigerians and citizens of the world have tuned to Viewer Television for accurate and reliable reporting that has made the Newslive one of